What's good, YouTube? Really quick, wanted to explain. I get a lot of emails and just messages online, right? About why I am so, and I'm saying it nicely than the actual emails say, because those of you who have followed me for a while know that I get threats. My children have been threatened. My children have been stalked at their schools, and law enforcement basically in Monroe County, New York, Rochester, New York, but the greater Monroe County, New York area has completely ignored the threats. I post some of the threats sometimes on social media, mainly on Twitter, as a way to document it. You know what I mean? Because especially that law enforcement has refused to do anything about it. But I get a lot of emails, and like I said, they're not the nicest, and the emails basically, ask what is my problem. And again, I'm trying to put it nicely here, right? Because they're not so nice when they send these basically hate mail, basically. What is my problem with Black Lives Matter? Well, it's simple. I'm a second-generation police accountability activist, okay? My dad, Mario Vara, was very active in the fight against police brutality in the 1980s. He was a Cuban immigrant who came to this country in 1968, who fled a police state, a true police state, okay? And I say that because everybody likes to say that the U.S. is a police state. And I myself, being honest, have equated it to a police state in the past, and I myself have realized that it's yes, while there are rogue cops, while there are corrupt, dirty cops who get off on violating citizens' rights, whether it be their First Amendment protected right to record, whether it be their right to be in their homes, right from search and seizure, the Fourth Amendment. There is also the opportunity that is not afforded to citizens without serious repercussions in countries like Cuba. When President Obama visited Cuba and there were protesters in the street, you could see right behind the reporters, there were cars that would just swoop in and basically kidnap the people right off the corners in Cuba who were protesting the conditions there. They weren't protesting President Obama's visit. They wanted to, on the contrary, they wanted to bring attention to the fact that it's a totalitarian dictatorship. In fact, Castro and his government strategically changed the route of President Obama's motorcade so that he didn't see certain, demonstrations, let's say, against the Cuban government. But to get to the point is, what is my problem with Black Lives Matter? Well, like I said, my dad fled a police state, a totalitarian state, left his family behind, never to be seen again. So I know police abuse, police corruption. I myself have been a victim of police brutality several times, as has my family. My dad was harassed and intimidated in the 1980s for being outspoken against police corruption. And he was intimidated and harassed almost on a daily basis to the point that he committed suicide, to the point that he took his own life. So I don't want to hear about how dirty cops are. We know that already. I know that firsthand. And it disgusts me when a cop, I don't care if he's white, black, Latino, Asian, I don't care who he is. It disgusts me when an individual who swore an oath to serve and protect take the life of an innocent person, whether that person be black, whether that person be Latino, whether that person be white, whether that person be Asian. I don't care. A human being. It disgusts me when a cop, executes an innocent, especially an innocent unarmed person. Okay? So I get that. I'm a Latino, raised in the inner city. I have 2 African-American kids. No offense to anyone. This is not some square, Wall Street, not to put any Wall Street viewers down. But my point is that I get it. I come from that environment. I've seen police. I've seen dirty cops up close. I've been a victim of police brutality. I understand how corrupt some cops are. I get it. But my main issue with Black Lives Matter is this: the hypocrisy, the blatant hypocrisy, where they have built a movement around Black Lives Matter. Literally, just that phrase, Black Lives Matter. But my thing is, how is it that black lives seem to only matter when a cop kills a black person, a black youth? Especially if it's a white cop, all hell breaks loose. But why is it that you don't see these demonstrations, these huge rallies, these huge Black Lives Matter protests and demonstrations with the disgusting, senseless killing and taking and stealing, like I say, of black lives by black hands? Black on black violence in this country is out of control, and it has been for years. Look at Chicago. 700 plus murders every year. And right here in my hometown, I just posted a video a couple of days ago of a double execution. 2 men dead in a car in a parking lot of a Rite Aid pharmacy, and a woman in the same shooting in critical condition. But yet not a fucking word from these groups who have no problem whatsoever protesting whenever a cop kills a black person. I'll end it with this, to be blunt about it. And this right here says it all. And keep in mind, again, this is coming from a second generation police accountability activist who has seen the dirtiest of the dirtiest cops, whose family has been abused by the Rochester, New York Police Department for years, whose father was harassed and intimidated by dirty Rochester, New York cops for years, to the point that he killed himself. So keep in mind where this is coming from and who this is coming from when I say this. As a father of 2 African American children, I fear more another black youth hurting or killing one of my children than I do a cop hurting or killing one of my children. The blatant hypocrisy of Black Lives Matter is disgusting, as is the senseless black on black violence, the killing, the total lack of respect for another human life. It is disgusting, and more people need to call it out.